Hello, my name is Drusilla Biella, and my project is called The Effects of Rising Ocean Acidity and Temperature on Plants. Everyone knows that global climate change is affecting the oceans in a very big way. The polar ice caps are melting. The Great Barrier Reef is pretty much dead at this point. So, what no one ever thinks about is the one thing that everyone takes for granted: fresh water. It's in such great supply that no one thinks anything will happen to it. Now, which brings me to this. This is a perfectly healthy hornwort plant. No fish rely on this plant, among others, for food. Now, this is a dead one. How did I get there? 2 drops of 18 molar sulfuric acid and raising the temperature with this water heater 0.5 degrees each week. Now my experiment lasts only 2 weeks. The reason for this being is that the entire experiment is meant to symbolize a time lapse of 150 years. Now, I started this in 2050 as, based on predictability of how historians commonly place eras. They usually last 150 years. So that means that this next era would end in 2050, which would kickstart mine, which would end in 2200. Now, that being said, again, perfectly healthy hornwort plant. 1 drop of this each week, and raising the temperature by only 1/2 of a degree each week leads to death, decay, generally falling apart. Now, what that means in a bigger scheme of things is that, this would obviously happen to all of the other plants in the water, which would lead to a lack of food for the fish, which will most definitely could make completely crumble entire food chains. Now, to relate that back to us, as some of you may ask, why would that be important? A lot of people rely on fish and things that eat fish for food. So without the fish, we would obviously starve, and then to put it into more of a statistical standpoint, it will, could obviously end in the entire big name fishing companies, which will obviously crash the economy and ruin society. So the death of a plant like this could lead to the end of society. Brings me to the point that a lot of scientists have been saying, that we need to get our carbon emissions down to 0 by 2050 in hopes of reversing the effects that we've created ever since the start of the Industrial Revolution. So, again, this also shows just how fragile our ecosystem is, as only very, very slight changes can cause complete catastrophe.